Welcome back to Dyslexic Style News, where I'm your host, Sarah, on today, and I am recapping over the last video. So the last video, I'm going to recap, and then I'm going to push you forward. So the last video was about dyslexia. What is dyslexia? And I realized in the last video that just picking through the definition of what dyslexia was and the symptoms, that although I have dysgraphia, some of those symptoms are wrong. So it leads me to let you know that each dyslexic person is different. So statistics may say this, the definition may say this, but you have dyslexic people out there that it's common for them to have ADHD. So with dyslexia, focus is a hard point on things that we're not interested in, even if we are interested in it. Sometimes the brain just don't want to receive it. And it can be in that moment, and later on, the dyslexic brain can tinker back into it and definitely download the information for the long-term memory. So yeah, this video is about dysgraphia. So, a couple of years ago, I think I can say that because it was 2023 when I started my business. But a couple of years ago, I typed up all the different types of dyslexia that's out there. And I typed up every definition I could find about it. So here we go. The definition of dysgraphia is impaired ability to produce legible and automatic letter writing, and often numeral writing. So 10,000, spelling 10,000 in the word form. The latter of which may interfere with math, rooting in difficulty with storing and automatically retrieving letters and numbers. Individuals have difficulty in planning and organizing, executive functioning, speed of writing, remembering how to write certain letters or numbers, legibility of handwriting. Excuse me. So, finger movement needed to write. So I put a couple of notes beside here, and one of them says something heavy in hand. It reminds me of the autistic person that having heavy-weighted things. They may not want to be touched, but they'll touch your elbow, or they can have something heavy in their lap, or a heavy-weighted blanket to give them comfort, give them what they need. It reminds me of that, but autism and dyslexia is not the same. So yeah, let's break down this definition and what my experience is. So yeah, math. Me and math can rumble all day long, but it's so funny. So college algebra in high school and college, we just did not click. I knew the work. I knew it. But one thing about dyslexia that you might not even find out there is that a dyslexic person, and this is the general of if they have phonological dyslexia, yada, yada, yada. A dyslexic person have trouble with motor skills sometimes. We can hear, so from me being a student in a classroom and a teacher is at the front and they say, write this formula. I can write the formula, but there's something not only tricky in what we see, but it's also tricky in what we actually do. So I see the formula. I can call out the formula and say every word, every number in the formula. Soon as I put that on paper, it can have something else different. For instance, cosine plus sine equals tangent. Okay, let's put some numbers in there. 6 cosine plus 9 cosine equals blank tangent. And this kind of a basic form. It usually have, with that type of formula, it usually have a T shape. And then you get sine, cosine, tangent, whatever down here. I can write that down, and catch you not, I put the answer in there, and I don't have to break nothing down. It's like my brain went from slow mode to fast without breaking anything down, without breaking no formulas down. So by muscle memory that happened. Something similar like that. Something similar like that actually happened to me in college. And that was very interesting. Very magical. Very intriguing to me to see that I do make mistakes, but they're in the right direction. Like spot on. So yeah. Let's continue to break it down. Rooted in difficulty with storing and automatically retrieving letters and numbers. Another story, ACT, high school. So, my 12th grade, taking the practice ACT, reading. It's so funny that I messed up on reading. So you got the reading, the English, the math, the science. And then you have an essay on the end for bonus. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I made a 15 on my ACT. I took it like again and again, and it was still a 15. Math, I made a 16 or a 17 on. And I'm like, how in the world? That's the main thing I struggle in school, is math. And then, here you go. So yeah, math was it. But with the reading, the short paragraphs, the short stories, had 4 or 5 questions on each one of them. And I can remember the story like the back of my hand. I've always been good with that. If a story is interesting, I can remember it, and it's likely that I can answer those questions. And usually I can. But in college, I found out tests like the ACT and your standardized testing that's happening at your local schools with your children, grandchildren, or even you when you were younger, are strategic to a certain pattern. So standardized testing is going to be different than the testing in your classroom that your teacher put together. And those two are going to be different than an ACT that's given across our great nation. So yeah. That being said, I'm good with storytelling. So why didn't I pass that? I couldn't pass the answers. I can remember all them stories. Could not pass the answers. Could not get the answers right. And with the numbers, they'll flip-flop and drop. But the motor skills, I know what I see, but I could not put it on paper, and that's still relevant to this day. Haven't tried it in a minute, but it's still relevant. Individuals have difficulty in planning and organizing. Executive functioning. Y'all, I'm a great organizer. And according to my doctor, I'm borderline OCD. The next sentence says, speed of writing, remembering how to write certain letters or numbers. So yes, that was happening before I was 8 years old. That was happening. And if you all been looking at my videos, you know that between age 7 and 10, I taught myself how to spell and read. Legibility of writing. Legibility of handwriting. I like to write. Yeah, my mom was really big on reading and writing when I was in her womb, so kind of got that naturally. Actually, it wasn't natural, but I worked on it. I loved cursive writing in school in 3rd grade. I loved it. But yeah, kind of going back to the planning and organizing, that's one of the genius genes. Once you find out as a dyslexic person, or your child, family member, friend of a friend, once you find out what you're really good at, be the best at it. And as you watch my videos, you're going to see how much of a genius, how big of a genius you are. So just to stop right there with the planning and organizing and how I taught myself how to spell and read is through pattern recognition. Once I find a pattern in whatever the operation, the situation is, then I could mimic the pattern and perfect it in my own way and also in their way. So yeah. Now with math, I just need a little bit more time. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will catch you in the next one.